Well, hello there, Internet. And I know I said I won't be doing anything on the Scarlet Spear, but I have realized there's a bit of misconception about the current state of the arcanes, as well as which are worth it, quote unquote. Also, to anyone asking how am I qualified to tell you these things, yeah, the number over here, that's in mission time. I rest my case. At least I am allowed to have an opinion that way. I mean, you're always allowed to have an opinion, but it's probably the correct one this time. So, here we have all of the arcanes available, and I'm just going to go through each and every one of them briefly as possible. So, over here we have Barrier. It hasn't changed all that much from before, so it's probably worth it, especially on high shield warframes such as Hildrin, Harrow, or also warframes that can generate shields, or even the upcoming Protea, if I remember the destiny correctly. Arcane Grace is still Arcane Grace. Inaros, Nidus, Wukong, and a few others will really enjoy having it if they need more survivability. And we get to the black sheep of the legendary Arcane family, Arcane Energize. Now, there was a golden age for this arcane where it was the most wanted, the most treasured. It really isn't that the case anymore, because what it doesn't tell you over here is that it has a 15-second cooldown. Not 50, that would be actually stupid. 15. It's still a very long time compared to, no cooldown. Next off, we are going into Arcane Avenger. If you need more critical chance, then this is probably the arcane for you if you can take a few hits. Arcane Fury, it's okay-ish, because that 180 melee damage that you see over here is now additive, not multiplicative. So it basically counts as another pressure point, a bit better pressure point. The same goes with Arcane Rage. And now we get to Arcane Arachne, which I actually recommend above all of the previous ones that give damage to a weapon, simply because A, it's easy to trigger, it's a 100% and with a 100% chance. B, it is a bit lower damage, but only by like 30%, so not really that big of a difference, especially if you have damage mods on. And it lasts for 30 seconds, which is more than any of the others. Also, considering the movement system, there's a pretty good chance you'll proc it even by mistake. Now, the duration cannot be refreshed, so be aware of that. But it's probably one of the best all-around arcanes currently. So I would highly recommend this one. Then we have Arcane Aegis, which again hasn't really changed all that much. It's good for warframes that depend on their shields to survive, especially with the shield gating right now. Arcane Ultimatum, I probably have a soft spot for this one. It was the first arcane set that I've obtained, like full set, but it basically got buffed, so no complaints over here. Next, Arcane Pulse got the same treatment as Arcane Energize. It has a cooldown, but honestly, I don't really know what it was all that useful for in the first place. Maybe to heal echoes and shadows. It even did. I don't know. It's there, but it's probably not one of the best ones to get currently. Moving on. Last of the gold arcanes, we have Precision. Now this is a bit of a different story, because there's a different arcane that procs with the same condition on headshot, and it also works on pistols, so they synergize very well with one another. Also, this one gives double what Arcane Arachne does. So if you like pistols and are constantly going for the headshot, this is probably preferable over the Arcane Arachne. It's probably going to be the last one I'm gonna get these last few days. Moving on, Arcane Velocity. It's okay. not many pistols need more fire rate, so it's one of those very situational ones in my opinion. Especially since there are several pistols that suffer from ammo efficiency. Trickery, it's essentially a buff, let's be honest. But there are better ways to be invisible, so it's probably pretty low on the list. Acceleration. Now this is basically the velocity, but for primary weapons. And again, it's okay. However, now don't get me wrong, 30% chance on a critical hit doesn't sound like a lot, but that's basically the 100 initiative chance to trigger, and we all know how that went, so... Especially with the number of enemies that you can hit at one point. It's acceptable, but I still believe there are better options. Now, agility is a rather interesting one that most people won't probably consider. I personally enjoy it quite a lot. I do believe I have it maxed. So, yeah, if you want to complete those missions faster, especially the ones which are not over your pay grade, as in the levels aren't so stupid that you need more damage from an arcane, then yeah, this is probably one of the ones you'd want to speed things up. Arcane Eruption is a surprising one. The rework of the arcanes increased its range to about 20 meters or so. So it's basically what the old Ember augment was, where it knocked the enemies down when you casted the ultimate, except now it does it when you pick up an energy orb. Combined with a few things such as the excellent small energy shot that can, I'll show it to you after, that can make you pick up things from a range, as well as with form generating abilities such as Neja or Ember herself with the new augment. This is a very reliable CC tool because it doesn't have a cooldown. You can just, as long as you can create orbs, you can just spam the knockdown effect constantly. So yeah, definitely top 3 or... Actually no, let's go like this. Top 5 arcanes you should get. This one, the Grace, the Aegis, the Arcane, and yeah, probably that. Let's see. Next, Phantasm. Most people don't parry, or don't even know that there is a parry, kind of. Actually, no, it's on block now. My bad. It used to be a parry. It's on block now. Most people won't probably use it, but I can assure you it's a good one if you want to speed things up, similar to agility. Arcane Guardian, it's a good one for frames that need more armor. A few I can name are probably Naros and Rhino, Neja, stuff like that. Awakening, again, it's one of those things where Arcane Arachne is just flat out better. Strike. Now, Strike is an interesting one because it doesn't have that big of a chance, but it's per hit, and we all know how many hits a melee weapon can do, like a staff, for example. That just doesn't stop. So you can consider that pretty much a 100%, let's be honest. Okay, one. Maybe I'll try and get it if I have the time. Moving a bit up, we have Arcane Victory. This is probably, if you don't feel like grinding for the Grace and you want a healing arcane, this is probably what I would recommend. Now, the deflection and a few others, which are just, just in case of elemental status effects. There are other ways to deal with this, so I'll just skip most of them. The only one I can think of being even remotely useful is Nullifier during Untitled hunts currently. So yeah, all of these right here, they're really not that important in the current game. Maybe they will be, but currently, yeah, no. Now, Momentum. This is pretty good for sniper rifles, because they do tend to have an atrocious reload rate. This is again a parkour ability similar to agility. And in my experience, if you're good with your headshots, this is actually preferable to the other one, because it has a 100% chance, and you don't need to take any damage. And lastly, we have the Arcane Temple. It's okay for shotguns. Shotguns don't have that much fire rate, but they also don't really have that much magazines in most cases, so again, very situational. I can see where it would be used, but that's about it. And I promised I would show you the mod that I mentioned earlier, the energy shot. It comes from Arbitration, so that's pretty far into the game. You need to complete the entire star map before you even have access to them. But I do believe it is tradable, so maybe you can find it in the trade chat or on the market. Also, it doesn't work with AoE pistol, so you have been warned.
Anyone you can spare.
At max level, it more than doubles the energy you can get from one. And that's about it. It's a short video I thought would be pretty useful to anyone looking to have some useful arcades by the end of this event. Also, before I finish the video, I would like everyone to be aware of the fact that from what I hear, the arcades are still subject to change after the event, depending on the feedback and everything. The entire event was supposed to give the arcades to people so that they can test them out, get a feel for them and all that. It is very possible that they might change. Keep that in mind. So if you can get all of them, be my guest. It may be better, it may be worse. I'm not going there. For the current state of the game, I've given you the recommendations. So that's what we will. See you all in the next video.